Images from California's Pacific Coast Highway show a grisly scene.
It's horrible, devastating.
We now have 7 patients, including 1 DOA.
At the center of this deadly car crash, Olympian and tabloid fixture Bruce Jenner.
Bruce, are you okay?
Seen here walking around the scene, surveying the damage. A white Lexus decimated and smoking on the side of the road.
Buckle up, buckaroo! Buckle up, buckaroo!
To be honest with you, yeah, I really don't care.
Oh, 65.
Yeah! Yeah!
For all intents and purposes, I am a woman. People look at me differently. They see you as this macho male, but my heart and my soul and everything that I do in life, it is part of me. That female side is part of me. That's who I am. I was not genetically born that way, and that's very hard for Bruce Jenner to say. Because why? I don't want to disappoint people. But what I'm doing is going to do some good, and we're going to change the world.
What the hell is going on? She said you just would never understand. And then all through the book, Chris knew. Chris knew before I even made love to her. I'm like, what?
Leatherface.
What's the difference?
It's been eye-opening, inspiring, but also frightening. All across this country right now, all across the world, at this very moment, there are young people coming to terms with being transgender. This transition has been harder on me than anything I could imagine. And that's the case for so many others besides me. For that reason alone, trans people deserve something vital. They deserve your respect.
You feel like you gave your whole life to somebody, and the sum of it all was you were a distraction.
Don't go there. I'm older. I've always been on the Republican side. I've always been. And right now, they have the executive branch, they got Congress, they got the Senate, and they got 2/3 of all governors in the United States. I think it's a good thing that I'm on the Republican side.
What do you think of Donald Trump?
I'm not a big fan because I think of his macho attitude. I think he would have a hard time with women. And it doesn't mean he wouldn't be good for women's issues. I think he would be very good for women's issues.
What?
Kill me now. Someone kill me now.
I don't think my views have changed politically since transitioning. What I liked about Donald Trump is he was a disruptor. And obviously, I know I'm not stupid. The Republican Party does not do a good job when it comes to equality and the entire LGBT community. The Democrats are better there. But for me, I've been around a long time. I'm probably more conservative, and I believe in little things like the Constitution and freedom, and I believe in minimal government. I believe in the people of this country to get us out of the trouble that we're in financially and economically. More than I believe the government's going to fix this. The people will fix this. And so the Republicans have done a better job in that direction.
That's a lie. It is a lie.
Now, as far as LGBT issues, I got to keep an eye on these people. I think it's good that I'm a Republican. I'm kind of on the inside. And 90% of the stuff that I do politically You don't even know I'm doing it, or do I want anybody to know I'm doing it? I love private meetings with powerful people, to be able to sit down, and I guarantee you, they've never met anybody who's trans. They don't know anybody. They don't know that we're actually normal. That, well, yeah, we've had a lot of struggles in life, but the trans community is by far one of the most amazing group of people I've ever had the opportunity and the honor to be involved with.
The Trump administration recently walked back protections for transgender youth by rescinding a guidance that schools should allow them to use the facilities that align with their gender identity.
A few moments later.
The trans community is being relentlessly attacked by this president. The leader of our nation has shown no regard for an already marginalized and struggling community. He has ignored our humanity. He has insulted our dignity. This is politics at its worst. It is unacceptable. It is upsetting. It has deeply personally hurt me.
I can't take this anymore. I am in crisis. I am in pain.
Yes, I did vote for Trump, but here's the deal breaker with the Republican Party. And the deal breaker is, you mess with my community, I'm coming after you.
Oh, what you gonna do?
I'm very good at competing, I guarantee you that.
He wants the world record.
And I like winning. We just have to have a good business environment and less regulations on the people here in this state. And that's what I plan on fighting for. Let's take back California for the people. A Republican, I'm running on the Republican ticket.
Thoughts on Caitlyn Jenner running for governor? I don't like that at all. It's fucking weird. He shouldn't probably be able to run for governor since he's running people over the fucking car.
Buckle up, buckaroos.
Acknowledge all the young trans athletes who are out there, given the chance to play sports as who they really are.
6.5 hours later.
This is a question of fairness. That's why I oppose biological boys who are trans competing in girl sports in school. It just isn't fair. And we have to protect girl sports in our school.
But if someone transitions and now identifies as a girl, isn't it delegitimizing their identity to prevent
Have a good day.
Caitlyn Jenner flipped her political positions to get more votes. And if you ask me, I actually think it's inspiring. You know, because she's showing the world that a trans person can be just as opportunistic as any other politician.
But yeah, some guy who hasn't done any therapy, hasn't done anything, there has to be a review board. And I would be the first governor to put together a review board to review each case. Such a small issue. It's like a non-issue that's out there. And I would be surprised if there's 30 trans athletes in the entire state.
That there are only 12 kids who are trans, 12 kids, targeting 12 children. And I'm not going to make judgments about how easy or difficult it may be to grow up trans anywhere, but I would imagine it's probably not the easiest thing in the world. And I would also imagine that having the entire state government pass bills specifically targeting you, almost individually, isn't going to make things any easier. There are about 35 bills just like this one across the country limiting or prohibiting trans women from competing in women's athletics. Only when you ask proponents of these laws to cite instances where this is actually happening, they can't. The only practical effect of bills like this one is that just a few children become politicized targets. And in a community like the trans community, where suicide rates are disproportionately high, turning the national spotlight onto innocent kids for the crime of wanting to live their lives in a way that corresponds to their gender identity isn't just unhelpful, it's dangerous. And it'll undoubtedly lead to more deaths amid a population that should be getting support, not ridicule. But then leave it to the pro-life party to stake out a position that'll result in more deaths. Leave it to the party of so-called constitutionalists to ensure that not quite everyone is entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
I have been dating Caitlyn Carter for 4.5 years, and my dad came out and said that he wanted to be called Caitlyn. 2 Caitlyns. Bruce was just never really around. Every so often, maybe once every couple years. Wasn't around for my graduation, wasn't around for most of my birthdays. So yeah, there really wasn't any relationship. It was very surface. I didn't really grow up with my dad. I didn't really, you know. When I was really little, we got to spend a little bit of time. When he started, you know, obviously the family with the Kardashian family and all that, I didn't really see much of him.
You are
a toxic parent. You are a toxic
Not me.
parent.
I'm
Yes,
not
you
promoting.
are.